In the southern Indian Ocean, midway between the coast of South Africa and the Antarctic, lie the Crozet Islands. This French archipelago sits smack in the middle of the roaring 40s, westerly winds that pack a real punch. Here, it rains 310 days a year. Winds in excess of 60 miles an hour for much of the year make human life unbearable. The wind brings rain, snow, and hail. On the Crozet Islands, you can experience all 4 seasons in less than a day. September marks the beginning of spring in the southern hemisphere, but there's never a good time to venture into this region. Some people do. This longline fishing boat is after a catch that can only be found in these waters, Patagonian toothfish. They were only discovered at the turn of the last century. Today, they fetch high prices on dinner tables in Asia and America, where they're more commonly known as Chilean sea bass. Other hunters prize the toothfish, like the giant of the dolphin family, the orca. David Reichert is passionate about orcas and intrigued by their behavior.
Like all the fish around here, the toothfish swim too deep for whales and dolphins. But the amazing thing is the orcas are such opportunists that they've adapted to the presence of long-line boats in the area. They've discovered an easy way to feed. They only have to wait for the lines to be pulled up. Unfortunately, a lot of pirate longliners are out there. They're illegal and try to force the orcas to keep their distance by throwing dynamite at them. So the orcas have become rather cautious towards human beings, even though they haven't given up on the easy pickings. Scientists have produced alarming figures. 50% of the orcas in the region have disappeared in the last decade. It's a wanton and secret slaughter by men without scruples.
David boarded one of the few legal longliners to get to the islands and study the behavior of this threatened mammal in its natural environment. As a specialist in filming marine mammals, David stops at nothing to get close to his subjects. But what he's about to do has never been attempted before. Filming underwater, close to boats that present a threat to the orcas. How nervous will they be of his presence if private fishermen have struck in the past? A young female approaches, naturally inquisitive. Her mother instantly recalls her. In Orca society, the young don't need to be told twice. The orcas are certainly avoiding David. He'll have to wait until he gets to the Crozet Islands for another encounter. That's where the orcas are heading, because their traditional prey in the area are not toothfish, but elephant seals. Every spring, elephant seals must return to dry land to mate and give birth after hunting at sea in the Antarctic. Over thousands of years, orcas have perfected peculiar techniques to catch seals.
I wonder how far the presence of the long-line boats has altered the orcas' culture from generation to generation. Has it changed their feeding habits? What impact has the slaughter really had? Has the elephant seal population grown as the number of orcas declined?
To find out, David will spend 4 hard months alongside these animals in conditions where life is a daily struggle for survival.
Here, animals are safe from man. They shouldn't be afraid of people. It's the perfect place to study their world and understand the close links that unite predator and prey. I've arrived just in time. The elephant seals have begun to return.
This 15-foot male seal has spent 10 months at sea gorging on fish and squid in the Antarctic. He swum thousands of miles to get here, and now, hauling 4 tons of blubber onto dry land, only one thing is on his mind: sex. Enter a female, but she's not here to mate, rather to give birth to a pup she conceived on the island last year. For the male, she's an irresistible image of Aphrodite.
To reproduce, males must establish a harem and become the dominant male. The only way to do that, throw your weight around and impose yourself on other males. The male is 6 or 7 times heavier than the female, and to show he means business, he bites her viciously. How affectionate. The dominant male must keep his trophies away from prying rivals. This potential rival is already calculating the odds. The role of dominant male is highly coveted, and on this beach, there's only room for one. Conflict is inevitable. Another female arrives. Distracted by the advances of 2 males, she doesn't see the danger until too late. Her long journey is over. She'll never give birth to her pup. Hunting this way shows how the orcas have adapted to life around these islands. Fish are rare and inaccessible, so they must hunt marine mammals. The rest of the family has been alerted to the catch. Allowing the others to join the kill is a form of initiation, especially for the young. To survive, you must learn, and the transmission of knowledge is an essential part of Orca culture. This might seem cruel, but it shows the extent to which orcas are social animals and how far they go to protect each other. The fatal blow is delivered by a young female.
Skuas and other scavenging birds pluck raw protein straight from the sea. Home away from home. The wooden crate contains everything David needs for his own survival until the longliner returns in 4 months. Skuas confirm David's suspicions. Animals on the Crozet Islands have never been threatened by man. They've no reason to be aggressive, but every reason to be curious. This is the price David must pay to secure a front row seat to study how orcas and their prey interact. Within a few days, the dominant male elephant seal succeeds in pressing large numbers of female into his harem. The problem now is to keep the peace. It's time for a nap. Others never seem to rest. There's always a chance a fat seal may be napping close to the edge. A large male orca with its typical 6-foot triangular dorsal fin is followed by 2 females with their smaller curved fins. Orcas live in a matriarchal society. The dominant female leads a group comprised of her sisters, daughters, and other youngsters, but never couples. Reproduction only takes place between separate groups.
The matriarch is very imposing, over 20 feet long. I know orcas have never been known to attack humans, but what if she really is eyeing me for her next meal?
The group moves off peacefully to the south of the island. David's close encounter with the orca on land reminds him of something that happened on this beach in 1988. Amateur footage of the drama, seen around the world, showed an inexperienced orca becoming beached while hunting. But scientists were on hand to help it back into the water. The female's release was a joy to behold for both the scientists and the orcas, a very lucky escape.
I wonder if the female I encountered along the shore could be the same one the scientists saved. I felt threatened, but she may only have wanted to make contact. What do I really represent to these super predators? It's a question that dogs me.
This male seal knows only too well what he represents for the orcas. He recently barely escaped becoming a meal. Ironically, seals are more vulnerable on land than they are at sea. They dive to depths of over 4,000 feet, far deeper than any orca. In the shallows, their thick layer of blubber offer a tempting feast of protein. No wonder orcas risk beaching and hunting this way. But even close to shore, the elephant seal is no pushover. A young orca strays from the group and finds itself face to face with a powerful opponent. The orca hazards a closer inspection. The seal holds its ground. No point in being too brave. It was a good lesson for the youngster. Next time, it'll stay with the group where there's strength in numbers.
This male is staking out his territory, even though it hasn't found a single mate. Hey, watch it! Whoa, okay, calm down. Loneliness is obviously getting to him. It's time for me to explore the island. I've decided to cross the little volcano to the other side, where I've noticed the orcas disappear to a number of times. What is it that attracts them down there? This is the perfect spot for me. The rocky bottom leaves the water clear, and for once the sea is calm. What a treat in this turbulent part of the world.
It's now obvious to David what the orcas are after on this side of the island. A sloping beach shelters a colony of king penguins in their tens of thousands. For the orcas, the beach represents a well-stocked larder all year round. Adult penguins surround chicks born last year. They'll keep their warm, woolly coats for about 9 months. When they grow real feathers and strong muscles, they'll take to the sea to feed themselves. They wait patiently for their parents to return with food. There are plenty of distractions to kill time.
They seem to have adopted me, probably because they're hungry. Raising the young takes almost a year and requires great devotion from the parents. Mothers and fathers are away for 10 days. They swim hundreds of miles to their hunting grounds and dive 1,500 feet to find fish and shellfish. Once they've filled their crop, they return to their young, picking them out from the crowd by listening for their call.
King penguins take to the sea together for protection. This is an opportunity for orcas to refine their coordinated hunting techniques. First, they observe complete silence. The hunters don't want to sow panic among the penguins. Then, moments before the attack, they emit discreet clicks to signal their position to each other. When the trap is set, the matriarch sounds the signal. Catching a penguin demands a lot of energy for little in return, but they haven't much choice if there's nothing else to hunt. In summer, when the seals are abundant, hunting penguins is good practice for the leaner winter months. For the penguins who managed to break through enemy lines to fish for their chicks, the return journey proves equally perilous. Finally, starving chicks are rewarded for their patience.